Bonsoir, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you are well, regardless of where you're finding yourself. It's me, your girl, Gracia, Susuzande, and welcome to Etincelle. Etincelle, your favorite TV show that you love to watch. That show that you like to pay attention to because you know the kind of subject we do come with in order to discuss, in order to enlighten somebody tonight. So, as you know, I have my guest right next to me, but I will introduce him to you as soon as we come back. But after that, please make sure that you share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Invite people, because once again, we cannot do the show on our own, and we're not just sitting here to have this conversation by ourselves, but we need you. Please invite people, and let us create a much bigger audience. All right, so I just give you that short little break. Don't go anywhere. Come back to us in order to pursue the show. See you soon. We are back, and that is not Zombie. I'm literally so excited because my guest is such an amazing person, and wanting to have him for so long on Etincelle because I know what kind of person he is, what kind of person. What like this thing that is that lives within him. I mean, he's passionate, and I love to speak to him because he brings knowledge in literally practically everything, you know. So I can't listen. Let me just turn around. Welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you for having me.
You know, so now I know that there's another name. So is Jeffrey just your only name, or you have so many names? Because you have Mr. Congo, you have the King of Kings. I mean, like, what else?
Well, my actual name.
Your actual name. What's your actual?
Jeffrey is actually my actual name, but Jeffrey is my second name. My first name is Baviani, which is my dad and mom's name together.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm Baviani, Jeffrey, Samba. So my dad and my mom's name together.
Yeah, I like that. Welcome on Etincelle, and there's so many of you probably recognize him from the person Mr. Congo. I mean, he won it with he deserved it. He deserved it.
Thank you.
So obviously, like
I'm the former Mr. Congo, yeah.
Yes.
Let's just put it out there. I won the first edition, so
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So besides that, who is Jeffrey?
Who is Jeffrey? Mm-hmm. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Mental health activist. Mm-hmm. NHS staff member. Mm-hmm. Passionate about humanitarian projects, community work, Christian, believer.
This is how you speak, because that person, from what I know, is that
we're getting there. We're getting there.
I need your voice to come out.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm a black man.
Yeah.
I'm a black man. I'm a believer. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm a human being. I'm social. I'm a worker.
Okay.
I'm everything that you can cut. You can
see your voice is
black
excellency. I like this. And so if someone had to like look at you and say like, in all the titles that you ever won in your life, like which one is the one that you?
All the titles I've ever won in my life, I would say Mr. Congo UK.
Why?
Mr. Congo UK is what actually brought me out.
Okay.
Mr. Congo UK is what took me out of my comfort zone. So if I wasn't Mr. Congo UK, I probably wouldn't sit on this platform as well.
Possibly.
Because no one would know my story. You would have never met me. So I would like to say Mr. Congo UK was the platform for me. Mr. Congo UK is what made the king that I am today. I was born a king, but I am the king now. The king that I am, the confidence that I have today is Mr. Congo UK.
I like it.
So I have to,
So you own it.
I own Mr. Congo with pride. I carry on my shoulders.
Once more on congratulations on that title.
Thank you.
Because you deserve it, and I've seen how you've moved from Mr. Congo, to so many different platforms where they do invite you, for you to speak on. You've won trophies, medals, and how do you feel?
It's an honor. Like in everything, I remain humble. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you have to be very humble in everything. Because you can't. It's an accomplishment, but I look at it as like it's a blessing also. So for me, I just feel blessed. I just feel like it's God's plan. It was my journey. It was meant for me.
Yeah.
I just don't look for it. I didn't force it. It just naturally happened. It was like God. It was God's plan. So for me, I'm grateful, and I remain humble throughout the whole journey. So even regardless, even when I won the best male pageant, and the best male pageant role model, I was still very grateful. I still feel very humble. I say there's people that was in this industry before me, that started before me. I was in the category of people that actually started at being in pageantry before me, and I still won. So for me, it's a blessing. So that I can never be ungrateful.
Do you feel like now that you've stepped out on that platform, so many male figure looks at you as a role model?
To be honest, people look at me, people message me, like even when I won Mr. Congo, obviously, especially when I went on BBC, it was
amazing,
overwhelming, So when I go on BBC, people look at me as a role model, people message me, but one thing I always say to people, I do get the thing of a role model, but also it scares me at the same time. You know why? Because we see a lot of people look at it as a role model and they feel like you can't do no wrong. And for me, yes, I am a role model. I can be a role model for the young generation, but don't forget, role models can make mistakes as well.
Exactly.
Role models can do wrong stuff as well. So at the end of the day, we all learn. So yes, I have young people that look after me, look up to me, sorry.
Yeah.
And as a role model, I appreciate that, and I'm very grateful. I try to do my best to try to set an example, like through. That's why I separate public thing and private life. I don't mix those two. So my private life stays my private life. My public, what I do as Mr. Congo, because what brought me through is through Mr. Congo journey. I carry on do what I'm doing. So I separate the two. So I don't mix that together. So that's what kind of get people into a confusion. They kind of mix the private life and the public life together. Being a public figure or an influencer, I don't class myself as an influencer. Or yes, I am a public figure, maybe because of the title I won and stuff like that. But you have to separate the two, because when you start mixing your private life and your everything, because even on social media, you show 5% of what we go through. You get what I mean? Like, I show you 5%, not because when I tell my story, even when I tell my story, I tell 10% of the story. Because if I tell the whole story, we won't stop. You get what I mean? 100%. So when I tell the story, it's literally the same story I'm telling you, but it's literally 5-10% of the story, because I'm not going into details. I'm giving you literally the little bit of the story for you to kind of get this type of person I am. You get what I mean? So, yeah.
And through, you know, what is this thing, if I may say, like, that really put you to say, you know what, je me lance, like, I'm putting myself forward into pageant, because, you know, especially as a Congolese man, in our community, like, a lot of people do see pageant as like a waste of time, probably.
It's for girlies, so on. You know what it is?
And you need to be a specific size, with specific height. It's like, what is this thing that really?
You know me, obviously, if you look at pageantry, for me, the guy side, I'm not the tallest. I'm not the one of the muscles and all these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have to know what you're going there for. You have to have a vision, you have to have a dream, you have to have a journey. Me personally, I went to pageantry, I didn't know what pageantry, I knew what pageantry was about, but I didn't know what pageantry is. Like, I was looking at it from the outside. I had friends that were competing and stuff like that, but I didn't really understand what it was until when I even got involved myself. When I got involved, learning about the history of Congo, learning about knowing your story, being able to tell your story in front of people, being able to have people listening to you, like, you don't know how many lives you touch, how many lives you're changing. And pageantry is all about beauty. It's not, yes, it's beauty. It's that people talk about beauty, it's called beauty pageant, but the beauty is from inside. People need to understand the difference of pageantry. It's not your look at this. Yes, you can be good looking, but that good looking is not. You need to. It's about community work. It's about project, humanitarian work. So when you're doing pageantry, you need to really know what you're going in there for. You're going there for a cause. You're not going there just so, you know what, let me win this crown, let me win this sash, and then sit down at home, or not because I'm too handsome or I'm too beautiful. That's not what pageantry is about. And a lot of people get confusing, and pageantry is not modeling also. Don't get twisted. Don't mix the two. Pageantry and modeling it's similar, but it's two different worlds. So don't mix the pageantry. The pageantry, Mr. Congo, for me, told me a lot. Mr. Congo is about your story, it's about history, it's about where you come from, it's about serving the community, it's about being a leader. That's what pageantry is for me. Pageantry is not about your looks. Yes, you look, but you're beautiful. You have to have a beautiful soul. You have to have a heart, because when you're doing pageantry, you are leading people, you are serving the community. Someone comes to you and speaks to you about a problem, how are you going to help them? That's what pageantry is about.
Exactly.
You're taking your look, like when people look at you as a role model, they come to look at you, they speak to you because you're a role model, you're a leader. So for you, pageantry is not about your beauty. These people are not coming to you because you're handsome, but only because you're beautiful. That's not the whole point. So you need to have a mindset, you need to understand, and a lot of people need to see things and trying to unlearn before you judge.
I agree.
Because if you don't know, you'll just say, yeah, they're just walking on the night. Because on the night, what you see is 40% of the work. Even not 40%, I would say 30-20%. Because what happens behind, you don't see the work that people go through. People actually cry in there. People actually go through sessions. People go through empowerment sessions. People go through leadership sessions. So there's a lot of work. It's not just walking, modeling, and all this on the night. That's what you see. You see that little part. But majority of it, there's a lot of work that goes in. So
one thing that because you mentioned culture, you mentioned all this like big points, which is absolutely amazing. But one thing that you can take out of this contest, out of this amazing journey that you went through, like that one thing.
One thing. Growth.
Okay.
Growth.
In what?
It helped me to grow in so many ways. And because at that moment I looked at myself, I can't fail. These people are looking after me. These people are looking up to me. So that I had to grow. I had to learn how to do certain things, how to be able, Me, I was the type of person who was very shy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, like, a lot of people know me wouldn't think I'm shy, but that's some same people I'm shy around. If I'm in a set of group of people, I will be different. I'll have a different behavior. But when it's my own people, I know that I'll be acting different because, of course, I'm used to these people. But when I'm going around certain people, I'm a very, reserved. So now coming out of my comfort zone, where I was only with my people, and I have to go meet different people every single day, do interviews. Going on BBC is not a joke. Doing an interview, speaking about your life on BBC, that's for a lifetime. You type my name there, you'll see it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm talking about my story, that's going to be out there forever. So from that moment I had to grow. I had to take a lot of responsibilities for a lot of things. I had to share my story, speak about my feelings. So that was it was growth.
Yeah, growth. I like that. I love the face that you had on that day. It's like you couldn't believe that
I was shocked.
This is happening. I mean,
the moment of my life.
You tell me.
The moment of my life, because it was like an experience. It was like, for me, it's something I would have never done. Honestly, I would have never done that. I would have never been able to do such a thing in front of like over 500 people in a room. Like, come on, me speaking like that, walking like that in front of people. That's not me.
I mean,
when I look at the video, sometimes I cringe myself. I'm like, how the hell? But I'll be like, oh, it looks for a good cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like what you're saying. So tonight we are discussing more than just Jeffrey.
Yep.
We're touching something that is absolutely mandatory, and the reason why is because himself is, in that department, and he has always fought for that reason anyway, for that cause. So fragile, strong, and fragile. What does it really mean? In this session, in this video, or in this live, we're talking about mental health. We're touching the men. Why the men? Because the man is as much important as the woman. The man is someone that carries so much. But in the same time, the society has painted the man as someone who's so strong, that can carry this, that can do this, that can do that, and it's beautiful, But at the same time, the man is also as much as he's strong, he's also fragile. But the sensitive or part of it, or that softness, is all usually hidden inside. So this is what we're going to be talking about today: the mental health.
Cool.
Is it real?
Is mental health real?
Health real?
Does not everyone have a mental health?
I mean, this is the question, because it seems like in the African community,
do people? That is the thing.
They don't really understand or even believe that it exists.
But don't we have a mental health? All of us.
I mean, that's the question.
Because mental is your mind. But mental health does not mean you just have to be everyone we think, don't we? Don't you think every day? Don't you think what you need to do? Don't you think about this? Don't you think about life? That's part of mental health. Mental health doesn't mean because you're mad. Mental health doesn't mean because you just know. We all think. That's your mind. Mental health is your mind. Mental health is real.
It is real.
It is real. Some of us have it worse than others. Mental health is no joke.
Yeah.
Like, even though, because why in the Congolese community some people don't talk about mental health, because themselves, they probably going through it, they don't even know they're going through it. Because a lot of our parents they've gone through depression, especially they live in things that they believe back home, coming here, the stress and all of that, think about family back home. They've gone through it, but obviously they grew up in such an environment where you have to firm everything. You have to be strong. You just need to, you know what I say, because I'm a valley so good, you can't, them kind of things. I don't believe in that. I believe like everyone feel pain, like strong and fragile. That's actually, when it's strong and fragile, I completely get it, because obviously you can be very strong. I can be very strong to you right now, but inside I can be very strong. I look strong, and that's the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, you look strong." I break down. I've been through the worst days of my life in dark. You get what I mean? So I can look very strong. I can go party, laugh, dance, drink. What happens in my house, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't live there.
Yeah.
When I'm crying in my bed, you're not there.
You don't know.
I can pretend from on the boys, my friends, everyone, that I'm cool, I'm fine. But when I'm broken, you don't know. You know what I mean? So people can be strong, and I hate the fact that people say, "Oh, you're so strong." Why I hate that? Why I hate it? I hate when you say you're so strong, because you're saying that I'm so strong. It's not time to be telling people, "Oh, you're gonna be you're strong." No, like, it's not the word. You get what I mean? For me, yes, I can be strong, but I'm weak. Don't just feel like because I'm so strong, I look strong, that I can't be weak. That I can't feel, I'm a human being. I bleed like everyone else, like if you cut me. You get what I mean? I feel pain like any human being. Yeah. Not because I'm a man, I have to act a certain way to be sure that I'm a man. You get what I mean? Yeah. Like you feel pain. You're a human being. And that's the mentality people need to stop. That's a lot of people are affected because they don't read, they don't do research. They don't know mental health is real. People go through depression. Mental health is different type. There's different type of mental health. There's stress, there's anxiety, there's eating disorder, there's body dysmorphia, there's also. So when people hear mental health in our community, they just think you are mad.
That's it. They just
and everything for them is also spiritual. Not everything. Like you cannot just think because you pray. You just have to be praying. You have to help yourself as well. You can take medication and pray. Don't think you can just sit at home and ask for God or God's hand to drop, and God's hand will drop if you're not helping yourself. You're sick. You're sick, you take medication and you pray. Doesn't mean because you're sick, you just sit at home. Let me just go to church and pray. Let me just open my Bible. And we need to, that's a lot of things. No. That's why a lot of people, you need to have a conversation with your kids. Not first thing is not by being not judging. Sit down, have a conversation and listen. Because a lot of people listen, but they don't understand. And they just listen to reply. Listen to understand what someone's trying to tell you. The message someone's trying to pass. But a lot of people are so ignorant, they just listen.
And ignore probably.
Yeah.
Just shut it down.
I'm telling you, I'm not well today, I'm not good. It is okay to not be good, to not be okay. It is, it's not a crime. I'm allowed as a human being to feel I'm not okay. Why? Because I'm a man, I have to pretend. I can't cry.
I like what you're saying right now because the reason why we're talking about it today because, listen, we've seen men, them ones like you look at them, you say he is tall, he is handsome, he has a career, he has a family, he has money, he has everything, listen, everything, the whole package. Nothing can break him. Nothing can like move him. We've seen Will Smith. We've seen the pastor Devin Franklin. We've seen all kinds of people like around us, even on our social medias. People that really, it's like nothing can break them. But somehow something comes up, and then you see them falling. You see them crying. You see them like.
But
it's.
What was this actor's name? He had cancer, and no one knew. I forgot his name. And he died.
Is it from Black Panther?
Yeah. Remember, no one knew.
Yeah.
Everyone just saw him. No one knew. So you don't know what someone is facing. You never know what someone could be going through. That's why in life you have to be kind. You don't know what someone's going through. You have to be there for one another. Stop judging if you don't understand someone's situation. Even if you walk someone's shoe, don't judge that person. Because me, I've gone through mental health. Yeah, I've had a mental breakdown.
Oh wow!
I've gone through myself. For me, you would never know. Like, my family didn't know. My friends didn't know. I was going party with them. I was skipping parties. I was dancing. I was going out. I was drinking. I was living my best life.
Yeah.
But when I'm going in my house, it's another person.
What was happening inside? Like, because you just mentioned you were partying, you were doing all these things. But
I was putting that face.
Wow.
I was putting that face. Because I don't want your pity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want people's pity. Some people, because at that point, a lot of people didn't speak about mental health. A lot of people don't understand what it was. Even myself, probably didn't know much about it also. But I'm the type of person, I feel some type of way, I'm going to speak to the GP. I'm going to call a doctor. I'm going to say how I feel. I went for counseling. I had talking therapy. I had all of that. So I'm the type of person, I don't feel shame. Like if I feel some type of way, I'm going doctor. A lot of us African, you feel some type of way, you don't want to go to the GP, you don't want to get checked out, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do counseling because you feel what's that going to do. He can help, because I would rather sometimes it's better to speak to someone that you don't know than to speak to someone you know. Because you speak to someone that you don't know, that doesn't know you, has never met you, don't know you from Adam or Eve. That person.
Is it maybe because this person will take you a little bit more serious?
You know, there's friends that can take you serious, but doesn't say you need to know who you're speaking to. You need to know the type of person, have people you have around you. You need to have a strong support system. You need to know the people you work with. You need to know the people that will understand how you feel. If you tell them today and feel, okay, I'm not in the mood, someone that will notice, will know that, okay, this is not usually you. You don't behave like this. Something's wrong. Something doesn't seem okay. You need those kind of people that will notice without you saying it. That will, I don't want the people in my life that will be like, you know what, you're going through this. Oh no, it's okay, you'll be alright. No, I want people that will be like, let's go find a solution. Go for counseling. You need this. You need to go to the doctor. You need to do this. That's the type of people I want to work with. You know what I mean? You don't want to be people that are just going to be there, lazy with you. You help you to die. I was going through, I dealt with it myself, right? I dealt with myself. I didn't speak about it until 2018 when I went to Mr. Congo. I dealt through the whole years of my uni. I was dealing with it. Like, it started from young, just I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because when I lost my mom, obviously I lost my mom, I was like, okay, cool. I lost my mom, I was 10. And I kind of felt, okay, mom was gone. I had my mom's sister that raised me, so she was there for me. I didn't feel like, I lost my mom, but I felt like I still had a mom. So when I lost my mom's sister, I felt like that's when hell started. I said, you know what? I feel like I have no more mom. Because I call my mom's sister mom, so I didn't really, young, she raised me from, I always grew up with her, even when my mom was alive. So I had two moms at the same time, so I didn't really feel like, you know what I mean? Like, my biological mom is not there.
I love.
Yeah, but this is my mom. Like, she treated me like hers. Like, there was no difference. So I never felt like, no different. I never felt like, yes, I'd cried when I lost my mom. I saw my mom, but that's the moment they're protecting you from all of that. You don't really, you feel the pain, but the pain, like, it doesn't go, but you can easily put on a side because they know this shoulder you can cry on.
Exactly.
That this mom, like, I know I have her. And then when she's not there, now everything starts to come back.
Crumble.
You're like, hey, my mom is not there.
Yeah.
My auntie that was my mom is not here now.
Okay.
So now what do I do? What do I have? Who do I have? Who do I turn to? Yeah, thank God I had my grandma, I had my sister and all of these things, but there's certain people that you just know that you can't, because they're not there no more, it feels so different. You know, you see the emptiness, and I felt that emptiness. I went through committing suicide. I went through doing also, like, I went through depression. I went through also, and then the rest of it, I lost my sister again in 2019.
Yeah.
So when I felt like I'm getting better, I went back to get worse. Literally, I went back from getting worse. So losing my little sister was literally the worst way. I just felt like at that point, just kill me. Bury me. Literally, bury me. Like, at that point, just kill me. Like, I felt like, that moment I can tell you, I don't like to explain it. You know, like, someone that's, because it's like she was like my twin, but you know when someone's like you, I felt like I gave birth to her. Like, when she's my little sister, I saw her be born in front of me. So I felt like I gave birth to her, so I felt like it's like a parent losing a child.
Oh, wow.
That's how I felt. I felt like this is my whole life now. I've lost my life, bury me, like I'm done. So at that moment, it was just the worst for me. Like, I just felt at that moment, it was worse. It was like, I was going through the dark part of my life. Like, at that moment, everything crumbled.
Do you, let's go back on the, the title of the show. Strong
But
and
fragile.
fragile. How would you define strong? What is strong for you?
What is strong for me? Is being able to stand up today, being able to talk. Like, regardless of what I went through, I'm still here. And it's not me by myself. Like, I know not everyone's a believer, not everyone's a Christian, but I am a believer. I would say, regardless of what life may want me to sin, I may commit, work, how many things I can do, but I'm a strong believer. I feel like God chose me from before birth. I may not be screaming every day I'm a Christian, I'm not screaming every day I'm praying. I'm not doing that because I'm not a pretender, I'm not a clown. I'm not doing that I'm not doing that for sure, I'm not doing that. I know I'm a Christian, I have a relationship with God. When I want to speak to God, I speak to God. When I know I need to do something, if I don't hear something tell me to do, I won't do it. But I'm not going to scream over you. Will see me, you'll be like, Motamasumu. You look at me, you'll be like, Motamasumu keeps party, does all these things, probably just any of those people. I don't need to scream everywhere I pray. I don't need to scream everywhere I'm in church.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. But I know the relationship I have with God. I know what I believe in. Now you be sick and Samba now. You know what I mean? So that moment when I'm going through the lowest moment of my life, I'm type of person here, I will cry. But I'm telling you, I will never cry in front of people.
Why is
the
that?
only time you're gonna see me cry.
I wanted to also touch is like it seems like in terms of maybe the education of someone, or maybe just themselves anyway. Like it's like they've been, telling the how does it separating the girls and the boys? It's like, oh yeah, girls you can cry.
I don't believe in that.
No, that's not.
I don't believe in that because me, I will cry if I need to cry.
Okay.
But I just can't. I'm the type of person I can't cry. I don't. The only time you see me cry in front of people, if I'm a funeral and I love that person, then there's no way I'm control those emotions. It's natural. You know what I mean? Like if you see the video of my sister, there was no control. I was literally crying everywhere. Like I can't hold it. But like if I'm talking to you like that, when I'm talking about that, I'm hurt inside. It brings me bad memories. Mm-hmm. But you won't see tears come out my eyes because I'm that person. Because you know what I mean? So like I feel like is it a coping mechanism that I have? Like I just cope. I don't want. It just helps you. Yeah, I just don't want to start crying. I don't want. I have that image. I have that thing in my head. I don't want no one's pity.
Yeah.
I don't want no one pity. So I always like. That's what I mean. I always stay strong.
Yeah.
But inside I'm like weak.
That's mad.
Do you know what I mean? Like strong and fragile. Like I'm very strong when I look like this. But inside me, I'm not hurt. I'm literally dying. If like sometimes I feel I sit down and tell myself. If sometimes I can give someone my heart to just go inside and see how it is. I don't know how they feel, but the thing is, I always say, one thing I always say, my situation is not worse than other people's situation. Not maybe because I'm vocal about mine, that doesn't mean some people are not going through worse than me. And that's one thing I always say, never make your situation feel like you're the only one going through the worst in this world. Because I am going through mine. That's my situation. That's my problems. That's my pain. Someone's pain may be different to mine, but that person may be going through the worst than me. So I'm always like grateful, and I'm always grateful for life. I'm always grateful. I'm always like, when I hear other people's story, I'm literally like, how do you cope? Like my grandma, when I talk to my grandma sometimes, I talk to my grandma all the time, she tells me stuff all the time. Like when I saw I grew up with my grandma. I knew my grandma's life. So my grandma had 9 kids.
Some pictures, videos.
Yeah,
how much
my grandma had 9 kids, and all the 9 kids passed away. Like 3 of them left. So when I speak to my grandma, the things I speak to her about, the things that she tells me, after coming off the phone, I literally cry. I'll be like, how did this woman survive? How is she still alive? How does she do it? She's so strong, but she's so strong, but she's so hurt inside. And I look at her, I'll be like, you know what? I can do it. If this woman can do it, me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I ain't seen no woman as strong as my grandma yet. No way. Like I have not seen any woman yet in my life that is strong as my grandma. That's what keeps me going. That's what motivates me. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. If not, I'll be gone, Gracia. I'll be gone long time. I wouldn't even be here. Like even when I went to Congo to bury my little sister, it's making me for her. Because I said, if I don't go, I know this woman will not take the shock.
You know, growing up, when you were little boy, and how would I say this? You're seeing life how it is. Have you always been even not just you but just maybe people around you consider you and seeing you as a strong boy,
To be honest,
strong boy.
That's the thing. Literally, from when I'm from. I say thank you to God because me growing up, I can tell you stories from young that some people might, like their age group when they're young, will not remember. Like I remind my grandma of stories. I remind my grandma of stories. I had this in Congo. My family, my mom's side of the family, they call me to ask me about date of births and their sibling died. Like me, that some of them I was so young. I'm the one that remembers. Can you imagine? I will tell you, my granddad died in 1994. I'm the one that know the day he died.
Oh wow.
They'll call me, where did he died? And he died in 1994. Imagine I was young. I'm the one that remembers. So in my family, they've always they always see me as a strong person. They always see me as that wisdom, that person has so much wisdom. Everyone in my family, my mom's side of the family, like my grandma always tell me, even to that spoke to her before I came, she asked me, like even recorded her, she said to me, before, like, if I die, Jeffrey, if I die today, and you don't come, and you died and you're not here, I'm not getting buried. Let me stay in the fridge for 1 more year until you even find the money to come to bury me. There's no one's going to do no paperwork if you're not here.
If you're not here.
I said, don't worry. You won't. I will come.
That's love.
To tell me no one is coming to bury me. Or if you're not here, I'm not getting buried. Even if I have to stay in the morgue for 1 year, I will stay for 1 year until you come. Literally. So in my family, I'm always that person. Like I'm like the first grandchild as well. My mom's side of the family.
Wow. Okay. I see.
So they look at me. So that's why even when I'm broken, I'm always that person. Like, you know what? I have siblings behind me. I have a whole family behind me that looks up to me. I can't fail.
Let's talk about education, because I just feel like education is a major part when it comes to our society. When it comes to our growing up, right? So if you miss the pillar, you miss the foundation of the education. I feel like you can still catch it up. We have churches. You mentioned it. You may be adopted, by a specific family. Maybe they may give it to you, or even you can get the education from the street. So this is how we have the roadman and so on. But education, do you think that somehow parents have kind of failed education in terms of men? Why am I saying this? Because I have several conversations with ladies, with women, grown-ups, who believes that why is it that there's always this difference between the way you educate a girl and the way you educate the boy. It's like the boy needs to be the strong ones, but they cannot be the fragile one. They cannot be the tough one. I mean, it's crazy, but here in Europe, it's crazy how it's completely different. What do you say about that?
I'm against that kind of education. Obviously, I come from, I'm against that kind of thing, like how you treat women to men differently in a household. I just feel like everyone needs to be educated the same way. Like I've always had a conversation, I was saying, women are prepared for marriage. They are trained for marriage.
Absolutely.
They are trained for marriage. When they go to marriage, the mom will be telling you in the marriage, you need to learn how to cook, you need to be in the kitchen with mom, you need to do this, you need to do that. This is how you look after man and all of this. Yeah? The woman is trained for that, prepared. Us men,
no.
We're not prepared. And there's no man that can come and lie to me and come and tell me the opposite. We are not. The reason, but that's what I'm saying, we are not. But I find that's really bad, because if you can prepare a woman how she should be in a marriage, why can't our fathers, or even a mom, because some people, the father's not there, the same way education you give to this, the same education you should give to the boy. You should base them, this is how you treat a woman. This is a woman, this is how you treat a man. This, that. Because a lot of our parents come from broken homes themselves, so they don't know how to show love, how to approach that, because a lot of them don't know themselves. They have not been taught, which I don't blame them. But eventually, another thing I blame them, because some of them don't want to learn. Some of them are very ignorant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't want to learn. They want to be stuck in the old ways. The world has evolved. You know what I mean? Il faut s'intégrer. Il faut pas rester bloqué sur quelque chose. Quand tu arrives dans un pays, tu t'habitues à leur... on dit pas de jeter nos traditions et nos cultures et tout, mais il faut s'intégrer. You have to get used to things, new things. Même qui les tables, you peut landa mouvement wana. Don't try to be like, you know what, this is the collaborate na mboka. No. This is why if your child want to Bali or la kisi penzela. We have puberty. We have puberty. Boys as well. Girls even when they see their period, but the mom talks to them, teach them how to do things. Us boys, we don't have this conversation with our parents. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that somehow that is kind of failing?
It has failed. We have failed. Our parents have failed us in that way. I'm not gonna lie. We have this conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
You cannot just feel like, why do you feel some of the male in the don't know how to treat women in the marriage? Why? Because they've never gone show that. They never told that. When a woman is going to bazuke ne kubala mama advance kama na zuba na mwana uboza la boy sanga suniti why we never told that? They never say that, when you're going to marry this woman, don't do this. No, it's very important to have those talks. And parents, you people that are watching, you need to learn to have conversation with your children. You know what I mean? So speak to them.
And still the same boy is the one that needs to take the lead in the marriage. I mean, it's like no background in terms of education about how to even like, you know, train the boy, but it's the same boy that you're asking, that you are expecting, you know, to lead this marriage, which he's never been in. He's never learned.
He's never been learned that. I've never seen anything like that. Because you teach them, you just show them like, you just play PlayStation or go play football. You, the girl, come and watch the play. Come and do this. No, sorry. I learned my mom. Thank God. I literally say thank God for the little time that I spent with my mom. She taught me a lot, and I grew up with it. I lost my mom when I was 10, but she put things in my head up to this day. I know that. I learned to cook when I was 7.
7?
Yes, my mom showed me.
Girls, it's not too late to begin.
My mom taught me to cook when I was 7.
Oh, wow.
My mom was a hairdresser, so she used to sit down there. She told me to cook because it was when I used to go to school. I used to go to the market in Congo. I'll buy Thompson, I'll buy a Luzeri, and then I come home, I try to make. My mom was tired of me doing that all the time. Saying, you know what? I remember that year. It was the time when it's 1997. Yeah.
You still remember the day?
That's the day Pepe Kalim it was dead. I remember that there was a funeral at Pepe Kalim, and my mom said, "Look, I'm tired of you. You're gonna cook fumbwa and fufu for the whole house because you have to cook all the time for yourself. Now you're gonna cook." She told me how to cook when I was 7.
Amazing.
She told me how to wash plates. She taught me how to clean. It wasn't like, because my mom, there was only 2 sisters. She only had a sister. So the rest of them was twins and boys, all of them. So in the house, everyone was working. Everyone was doing work. It's like you think, one mobile. Boy, my uncles work. My uncle cook. My uncle cook lambi.
Yeah. You know what? I actually have a conversation with someone a couple years ago. And in this discussion, she was like, if I ever step into my son's house and I see that my son is washing dishes or cooking, I literally will shout out at my daughter-in-law. Like,
so your daughter-in-law,
like that is
your daughter-in-law is your slave. This is the thing. That's the mentality in our community. Yes, I understand that a woman has some things to do, like in her take care of the house. I get it, but she's not your slave. She's not there to be doing that. This one said a lot. That's why there's a lot of these women are stressed in marriage and cause them to have depressions as well, because they feel like they're in a marriage. That's why some of them might blame their parents. You sold me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of her parents African feel like, like, you know what I mean?
Especially when it comes to the dots.
And that's thing I don't even like to go in there, because when I never talk with that will stress people. Yes, I understand it's symbolic, but when you ask people, made it seem like about a whole human being. It's symbolic. Even the Bible is. It's a symbolic thing. It's not just people, us Africans. Let's
just say that.
Yeah, it's symbolic. You have to do it. I understand you have to follow the culture, but faut pas exagérer non plus. You know what I mean? So, but there's a lot of things, like we said, the mother-in-law coming in there and shouting at your daughter-in-law. What right do you have? I would never allow my mom to do that to my wife. If she was alive, I was married, I would never allow my mom to do that. I feel like that's mentally, that's not mentally, that's, you're mentally, you don't know, you might affect that girl's mental health. Your mother-in-law, my mom is coming to shout at you in the house. That doesn't sound right to me.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like in the Congolese people, we need to change our mentality. We need to stop living in back in the days in Tango, Leopoldville. You know what I mean? Change that mentality. We're not back in there. We're not in a village. This is the new generation.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not new generation, but I understand, but it's slowly we make change, because change starts with us. Because a lot of us wait for change to come from the government or the ministers or the presidents. No, you're the change. Because you change. You want something, go for it. So a lot of people carry so much baggage, so much baggages with us, where it affects our mental health, to come in about stress, to come in about depression, to come in, you just come in all sorts of things. I went to Congo last year. I saw a lot of these orphans, all these kids. It hurt me. Why? Because these people, you killed them, and that's why they can put you in orphanages.
My God.
You have a mental do you know mental health? These people, do you understand the mental health? No one knows mental health there. No one talks about mental health.
Lack of education. You can't really.
People are not educated.
Exactly.
People don't want to know things that's the truth. People are so blocked in their old ways. They're just stuck there. They don't want to move forward. We need to move on. We need to move forward. We need to try to have conversation. But this conversation are very important. Some of yourself come from work. Oh, how's been the day? How's your day been? How was work? Find out. You might have a stressful day affecting you. You might be going through something, but there's no one to talk to. Because if you talk to someone in your house, they'll be like, you're like a cowboy.
Exactly.
Oh, you're always down. You always have problem. You're always complaining. You're always mourning. Excuse me?
Excuse me.
That's what a lot of people is What is that? The bro is not.
In what you just said right now, I like what you say, sanduku. We actually spoke about this a couple months ago, and I spoke about sanduku, the heart, and it seems like they always use motema mwasi is a sanduku, like the heart of a woman. It's that Pandora box, right? Wherever there's so many things hidden. But actually, when you think about it, the man's heart is also a Pandora box.
Yeah. Because they make you believe that you have to carry everything. You have to carry the whole responsibility.
Yeah.
You have to carry everything on your shoulder. You have to carry that baggage. No, you don't have to. It's okay not to be okay. It's not a crime. It doesn't make you manly to cry. Me, I will cry if something hurt me. Call me all sorts of names you want to call me. I don't give a shit. Sorry for the term. I'm a human being. I feel pain. I'm emotional. I'm not a tree. I'm not a human. I'm a human being. If you call me now, I'm going to bleed. If I call you now, you're going to bleed. Are you not going to feel pain? Why should it be different? Why can't I show my emotion? Why can't I express how I feel? How does that make me a manly? How does that make I'm a human being after all? This is why a lot of people commit suicide, because they have no one to talk to, especially men, because they can't go to your boy, because if you don't tell them, I feel like this, I feel like they will judge you. So you keep it all in, and eventually when you can't take it anymore, what do? You commit suicide. What do? You jump out the bridge. Why? You jump on the train strike, on the train strike, on the train things. Why not? Because you have no one to talk to, because you can't talk to your boys. They'll be like, you're weak. Or you're too emotional. How does that too emotional makes me too emotional? If I can't speak to you, then what am I going to speak to you? Yes, I can speak to God, fine, but there's human here. You're there, you're my friends.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be my support system. You're supposed to understand me. I'm not telling you when I understand exactly how I feel, but you're supposed to, support me in what I'm going through.
Back.
This is where a lot of people are going through this because they can't speak to people. They don't feel they can trust anyone to speak to. And especially in the community, you can't speak to people because you speak to someone that you could be telling you talk to someone, you will know your business will be in someone's mouth, and that's not cool. You need to about private and confidentiality.
You know what? Someone like Will Smith, right? Because let me just put it out there, like someone that literally has been going through a lot. Right, going through a lot, and I believe the social media
and people laugh at the situation without even. Exactly. I don't find it funny, but you need to try to understand the situation is not funny. You don't know what this man is going through.
My question is that he's been holding for so long, and yes, finally, you know when
the anger is in you for so long, yeah, you explode. You know me, yeah, I'm the type of person I will keep things in. I can keep things in, Gracia, I will keep it in. But when I pop, I'm a different person.
Yes.
You won't even remember me. And the one thing I avoid to do nowadays, because of my health condition and all this, because this is what I'm saying, what is going through. Because all this depression, all this stress I went through, all these things I went through in my life has caused me to have a health condition. Obviously, I wouldn't discuss on social media, but yeah, like that. You see me now, but like, you see me, I look strong, but you know, you got what I mean. The whole I'm gonna touch the wood. You can wake up tomorrow and hear that Jeffrey's not alive. People have cardiac arrest.
Exactly. You know, can that's a question. Someone we had a conversation the other day. Can finding the wrong partner for your life can bring you to depression and die? Let me put it just out there. You know, from the strong men that you know of, like going to the gym, doing everything, blah blah blah, boom, he gets married to the wrong partner.
So this was, even there's a comment today I saw on the Voice of Congo video, on the Voice of Congo, that a man proposed to a woman in a shop, with a fast food shop or something like that. Went shopping, yeah. And the woman turned around, refused the ring, embarrassing for everyone. Do you know how that can affect that man's mental health?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's funny. People are laughing. You think, but I don't find it funny. You know why? And I will say this is to everyone. Yeah. It's very important. Don't go in a relationship because you want to please your family or you want to please people, or I'm in a relationship, I'm married. That's something I will never do. I will never do anything to please anybody. You can say whatever you want. Because, go in a relationship, and it's very important when you go in a relationship, this is the right relationship you're going through. And go in a relationship also, make sure when you go in that relationship, you have those conversations with your partner, knowing what page, are they on the same page as you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, are they ready to get married? Are they ready to be engaged?
Yeah.
For you not to go through that embarrassment that will cause you a mental breakdown. Because that embarrassment, us men, we don't like embarrassment.
No.
Like me, I can't take embarrassment. I can't take shame. One thing I can't take, I don't take shame. I can't take shame. So you know what I mean? So can you imagine that moment, yeah? That man goes home and commits suicide because of the shame he caused in public. Because the video is viral. Right. The video on social media, everyone sees that video and his face is there. And today the man wakes up, you know what? I'm going to hang myself. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be fun. Because that can cause the man's mental health.
Yeah.
That can break down that man. It's because this is what I'm saying. It's very important to know the person you are with. Don't because you have a kid with someone, does not mean that's going to be your wife for life or your husband. Conversation is important so you don't end up in that situation where you're in a toxic marriage or in a toxic relationship where you end up killing one another. I'm seeing a lot of things. Men are killing women, women are killing men in a relationships and all of these things. Know who you're going with.
We actually have a conversation on a story actually on this one. Now that you mention it, this oh my God, this man who got killed by his own wife because she ended up giving him HIV, and it was done purposely. It's been done a long time ago, and that's from actually the stories from South Africa. And he went to the police and gave himself, and actually told the police that I just killed my wife. Due to, I don't know if he actually mentioned the story, but he told them that he killed his wife. What do you think about this one?
All of this is sad. It's really sad, and this is what I'm saying again. It's very important, honestly, to know what you're going with. You never know someone 100%. People change with time. Years, people change. You grow out of love, you grow. People change. Yeah, feelings change as well. Exactly. So let's not think that people change. But that's why it's very important to continue improving, continue doing better, continue doing things that, will improve your relationship. And obviously, I don't feel like if you're not happy, why not just leave?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You're not happy.
You have a choice.
You're not in prison. You have a choice to actually, you know what? This is not for me.
Yeah.
Before it gets worse, before I do someone dirty, before I kill someone, before I kill my own self, let me get out of this situation. I know a lot of people always stay in situations that that will end up bad. And that's really sad to the point where a life is gone. Regardless of what way it was done. Someone's life is wasted, someone's lost a daughter, someone has lost a mother. It's just sad.
We always talk about the things. This is what I like about Etincelle, because Etincelle is not just about mentioning the issue, mentioning the problem, and we just leave it as that. Because as much as there are issues around the world, we need to be able to find solutions. And the sparkle, the answer, or the knowledge can come from anyone.
Anybody.
And then the reason why I have you tonight on Etincelle is because you work in this department of mental health. You know how you deal with it from morning to evening. So what is really the solution that we can bring in our community? We can bring it in our nation. We can bring really in our countries when it comes to mental health. How do we recognize this and how do we help?
To be honest here, you can't tell someone's going through, like I said, for mental health. You can't tell someone's going through depression. It's not written on anyone's face.
Okay.
I can be going through depression. I can be, I'm in a dark place. I can be screaming, but no one can hear me.
Isn't there some signs to recognize?
If you know someone, you know the person very well. Like me, you probably would never know.
Okay.
You probably would never know unless I got to the end of it. Like, you would know. But if you know someone so well, in the way the person talk, in the behavior, you kind of recognize them with certain signs. You know, like, something's not right here. Obviously, sometimes it's not conversation someone's ready to have. It's not even on a good someone. Now I feel like you're going through mental health breakdown. Now I feel like you're depressed. We say it for fun. Sometimes people are depressed, but I feel like I don't want to use that word sometimes for fun no more, because I feel like it's not a joke. Let's stop using, because a lot of people use it for joke. Oh, I'm so depressed today. Okay, but cool. Like, there's people going through real depression. Let's not use those words lightly. Let's have, let's know the word we're saying. So what I'm saying, like, for me, I feel like we need to have conversation every single day. We need to check on each other. We need to have conversations to find out how are you doing.
How are you doing?
2 years of COVID, 2 years and a half of COVID, it's been a lot. People have lost family members. Do you know the pain of losing someone through COVID? It's hard. Someone that you was there every day.
A lot of people who.
When I heard that I know when COVID, I used to work. I was at work when it happened. For me personally, I didn't take it serious at first. I was like, okay. I was at work. I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared. When COVID happened, I wasn't scared. It's the day when I lost my uncle. Like, that's when I realized this thing was real. Like, the pain I felt that day, I tell you, and you can't go nowhere. You can't travel. Like, you
can't even bury.
You can't bury. Like, there's a certain number of people. When I'm telling you the pain I felt that day, I felt like, wow, this is actually real. That's the moment I took that seriously. So it's very important to have conversations. If you know, like, read books. Mental health is now everywhere. On the bus, in the hospital, there's posters everywhere. There's numbers that you can call. If you want to talk to someone, before I went to Congo last year, because I was going last year like myself, like I said, I was going for a lot. Like, even though all the years has gone, this one I need to tell people, trauma. People deal with trauma differently. Trauma doesn't finish in one day. Like, my mom has died now in August. I'm going to Congo. It's going to be 20 years since my mom died. But that's not mean that 20 years I've forgotten the pain. The pain has not. I try to live with it.
It's a scar.
I try to live with it. Like, a lot of people feel like it's gone, it's forgotten. No. Trauma is something like you need to know how to deal with your traumas. So a lot of people need to seek help. I went to Congo last year. It's the first time I saw my mom's cemetery. I never know where my mom was buried. I never saw a place of rest. Last year when I went was my first time stepping my foot in there. And so my mom's sister's grave, my first time. When I tell you, I don't know. I felt like it was a joke. I don't know. I still don't see me go, but I made that decision to go Congo to see that. That's the reason why I went to Congo, because I said to myself, you have to take decisions that will hurt your heart, but will heal your soul.
I like that. Decision
that will hurt your
heart,
but will heal your soul.
Heal your soul.
And the decision I took is to go see a place of rest, to know that this is where she is. I would feel, at least I know, like, I'm not in denial no more, because I was in denial for the years, because I never seen where she was. I was there at the funeral, but I didn't see when they were putting her down.
Wow.
So for me, she's not here, she's somewhere. But I saw that, so I took that decision to make that move, like, I'm not saying I'm healed, but I'm in a better place where I was than before. Because I've seen, at least, because I'm not fully healed. I'm not saying I could never heal from that, but I'm in a better place. So it's a lot of things that we need to have those conversations. I had counseling before I went to Congo. I took 10 sessions of counseling before I went to Congo, just to prepare me for that trip, and I also prayed. So I was having counseling every Tuesday with the man called me for want to do face videos during COVID, and want to do video or just phone. I said, I had 1 hour on the phone each time, every Tuesday with the man. I never saw the man. I don't know what he looks like. He don't know my face. I don't know his face. When I tell you, I think it was the best moment of my life. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had counseling in the past when I felt like, initially I was in denial. I was just doing it for the sake because the GP kept referring me. So I'm like, you know what? Because he said, if you don't go, you're not going to have no more. So I kept going. I just going, but I wasn't ready. I always tell people, don't go for counseling because you feel like you just want to go. If you just go, it's never going to change anything. It's like when you go to church, if you're not ready to receive Christ, you just go to church to follow the crowd. You're never going to get what you're looking for. Your knees will be black forever. You will tell God is not answering. You know God is not answering you. It's not God not answering you. Your heart is not ready. You've not accepted it. So don't pretend to be doing things that you know you're not ready for. Me, I was going. I wasn't ready. But in last year, when I did it, I was fully ready. When I tell you, the first time the man called me, he said to me, "Oh, you sound like, you know." I was just like, yeah. I was not bothered to talk to him as well. That was weird. The first call I was like, what's this man again? I'm telling. After that session, he spoke to me. I gave him it was like quick, like a little intro. It was like, "I'll call you next week Tuesday." Next week Tuesday, when he called me, it's like that was super motema.
Wow.
I was laying everything out. Yeah. The one he said to me, you need to grieve. He said, you need to grieve. Go back home. That's the thing he said to you, go back home. You need time to grieve. Do what you need to do to grieve.
That's mad.
And that's the moment I said, the man don't know me. He just heard what I'm telling him on the phone. This time I was at work on my break talking to him. It's not like I was always at home.
So you can actually like speak to him like that any time basically.
But he gives you a time, like you agree to a time. So I knew I was working during that period. So I was literally working, I was like talking to him on my break time like 1 o'clock. Like 2 o'clock, sorry. So I was talking about during that period, innit? So I knew every time he called my man that period, we'll have a session. He would text me before. He would text me, are you free for this? I was like, yeah, I'll give you a call. We talk every Tuesday for 1 hour. And then every day when I was talking to him, I was getting better. I was getting better. There's improvement. And then until I went, like I had my last session a week before I traveled.
That's amazing.
And I felt so good. Like that's the moment I was ready. So you can go for counseling, but be ready for it. Be ready to open up. Because don't go counseling to hide things. It's not going to help you.
What's the point to even go for the counseling if you're going to be hiding?
Because you have to be ready to actually let out what's burning you. And that's what I did. I was laying out everything. The man just said, you know what, you need to go back home. And I'm not going to lie, I booked my ticket in December. January I was gone. I said, I don't care how much it's going to cost me. I'm going. And I went. And I came back.
Money comes, money goes.
And I felt, I sacrificed. And I felt good. So very important. You're going through depression. You're having anxiety. You're having fear. And you see something not right with you. Check with the GP.
Yeah. So now we are going to the end of our show. I would like you to speak to someone tonight. All right. So Etincelle, as you said, it's about bringing a light into someone's life. And we don't know exactly who is watching, where you're from, in what country you're based. We really don't know, but what we believe is that you're watching and you are probably relating to, the story of Mr. Congo, the boss himself. So, and I'm sure that we have enlightened, trying to make you understand that depression is real. As much as you are a believer, depression is real. Trying to combine them to, take your medication if you need to. Do your counseling if you need to, but combine it with God. If you're not a believer, at least take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and, find someone. But then again, however you shall do that work. Speak to someone who's probably watching you. Someone who's probably going through depression. Someone probably don't even believe that depression exists, because we're trying to lift up this myth that people try to cover up. Yeah, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna say, you're not alone. I've been there. I've conquered. I've fought. It's not easy waking up every morning feeling like nothing, feeling empty, feeling weak. You're not alone. Never feel like you can't seek help. You can seek help. There's professional help everywhere. There's numbers to call. If you feel any help in sort of way, don't hesitate to see your GP. Don't ever feel like leaving it too long. You have some thoughts in your head. Don't be feeling like I can't talk to anyone. Always talk to someone that you feel that you can trust. I've been through it. I'm talking from experience. I'm not talking, like they say, if you've never been through something, it's very difficult to relate, it's very difficult to understand, but I'm talking to you because I've been through it and I worked in that field. I know where it is. My story can help you. My story can inspire you. My story, your story as well can help someone. Share your story. Be able to talk to someone. Don't feel like, let me hold this all to myself. You're a man. Don't feel like you can't share, you can't express your feelings. You can't show your emotion. You can't cry. You can't break down. It does not make you unmanly. It is okay to not be okay. It's not a crime. Don't feel like, yeah, I'm a man. I'm the leader. I can't do, no. You all have feelings. You can feel weak. So speak to someone. Don't feel like you're alone in this. Don't be ashamed of your story. God is good. Trust me. That if you believe, even if you're not a believer, take off yourself. Take medication. Seek help. Go for counseling. Speak to a GP. That's all I have to say to you. And I hope what I've said will help you, and you'll take something out of this. And
yeah, I like what you just said right now. It's very important because we know, I believe that, as much as we have, this body right here, our soul listens, and whenever you speak to someone, you don't just speak to the ears.
Like I said, make decision, make decision that will hurt your heart, that will heal your soul.
I like, you know what? That's a quote right there. I'm taking it for myself.
Those decisions, will heal your soul. Your soul is very important. Your heart may be hurt, but like I say all the time, the devil. There's a song that says, "The devil hates me, but they can't touch my soul." They can fight you, but if God doesn't allow them to touch your soul, look at Job. What God said, they could have done anything. But they could do anything to you. They can never touch your soul if God doesn't allow it.
Can I ask you a question? It keeps on coming back in my head. Why during the pageant, of the contest, were you suffering from a depression at the time?
Yeah, I was suffering from depression. I was suffering from depression when I was in Mr. Congo.
Wow.
Like I was going through I was in my own world. But that's what I said, Mr. Congo is what helped me to be where I am today. Wow. So I'm grateful, and I'm very, shout out to the management, to Mr. Congo.
I wanted to say as well before we leave, so what's happening with you and where you're heading to? So pageant done, finish, or standing on the crowd no more? So what's happening when it comes to your journey?
My pageant journey. I'm always gonna be Mr. Congo. I won the first edition. Once a king, you're always a king. You know what I mean? So I'm always gonna be Mr. Congo. But obviously I'm the former Mr. Congo. I am now here managing the new generation after me, because I'm not trying to be, like these uncles in the community, when they have something, they just want to keep on going. They don't want to let the other people to come. No. I've was blessed. I had that journey. I walked through that journey. I want the other people also to go through what I went through, to have the experience, to help them to build something, to leave legacy. And that's the most important thing. I want to leave my legacy. I don't want to be famous. Me, it's my legacy. I won't want to die.
You should write a book.
I was writing a book for so long. But the funny thing is COVID, I've been writing a book. I literally wrote it. It's just that I've never been able to finish it. And the reason why I never finished it, I was meant to release it, to give it to the people to edit and stuff like that. But the funny thing is, because at that moment I had to go Congo first to know my mom. Because remember when my mom died, I was young. I know the story, but I needed to connect with the story. I needed to see where she was resting. So for me to finish something that's the story of my life, it's actually called the story of my life. So the story of my life, I cannot miss pieces.
I can't wait.
Do you know what I mean? So my journey, that's my journey. So, and obviously there's a new contestant applying for Mr. Congo this year. And if you're Congolese, you're a young man, you're a young woman, do not hesitate to apply for Mr. Congo. That's we made who I am today. So without Mr. Congo, I wouldn't sit next to Gracia today, and that's how we met as well, through Mr. Congo and Miss Congo. So there's Mr. and Miss Congo, so that's how me and Gracia met. So it's a beautiful journey. You learn a bit about Congo, because I know a lot of us in the UK, we don't really know sometimes what about home, what happened home. We don't know about our culture. We don't even know the history of Congo. I learned from Mr. Congo the history of Congo. You know what I mean? So it brings you something, and you're giving back to the community as well. The Mr. Congo is not about beauty, it's not about height, it's not about size, it's about what you're going to bring back to the community. It's humanitarian project, going back home, do charity work. That's what it is, and your story.
There you go. He said it all. I didn't even have to say anything. Like literally, he said it all. So if you are, a young lady who is passionate about people, passionate about, giving back to
helping
the
the community,
apply for Miss Congo UK 2022. So it may be you who gets the crown. Well, once again, it's not about you self, but it's about others. So this is our show. It's down today. I just feel like there's so much to say.
There's so much to say, but we're carrying
I was holding myself in so many. There's so much questions. There's so many other questions like to ask you. But I guess that's gonna be part 2. I hope you can stay tuned. Please do share. Keep on telling people about the show. And it was such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Gracia, for having me. May God bless you. I love yours too. Thank you for having me. God bless you. Thank you so much.
We see you guys next week. Connect yourselves.
Same time, yeah. Merci beaucoup. Mais français, la prochaine fois, on va faire en français, en lingala. Là, franchement, c'était en anglais, désolé. Mais la prochaine fois, on va essayer de parler un peu plus en français, en lingala et tout. Donc tous ensemble. Donc, mon salazo continue.
Donc, shout out to everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Grace Ministry. We're talking about Apostle Mylene. Thank you again once more for your participation in this field. Thank you. So see you soon and take care.
Bye. Thank you.